Hey, I'm Mechanical Engineer, and today we're going to be building the weirdest picture frame you've ever seen. At least for your sakes, I sure hope this is the weirdest. A few months ago, I was walking through the thrift store like I often do, awkwardly throwing my arms about, when I accidentally slapped an old woman across the face. Just kidding, that's a different story. When I came across their picture frame and painting section, I didn't have to look at them for long before I realized there were some very unique pictures in the mix. But while I was gazing upon them, I was hit with a stroke of genius. Or stupidity, it's often hard to tell them apart. I said to myself, Mechanical Engineer, you shouldn't talk to yourself in public. That's pretty weird. Let's continue this conversation inside. Then I thought to myself, what if I deliberately set out to make a really weird painting and then donate that painting to Goodwill just for laughs? Although I would never see the reaction of the person who found the painting, I could live knowing that I possibly made someone's day a little bit better. But why do this alone? That is super boring, so I reached out to my friend, quite simply Annie, a link for her channel is around here somewhere, and she is going to be making a video about doing the same thing for her local Goodwill, or thrift store. Now, I told her we're just going to draw or paint weird pictures, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, my channel's about building stuff, so why don't I build a really weird picture frame to go with the picture? I think that'd be pretty cool. So with all that being said, I'm super excited to do this, so without any further ado, let's get started. Getting started, the first thing we're going to need to do is to build the picture frame itself. To do this, I'm going to take a 3/4 inch wide pine strip and cut it down to about 1 inch wide. I'm then going to cut a 1/4 inch square channel out of the side of it. Hold on and I'll show you what I mean. Just like that. Now we're going to want to take this over to the miter saw and cut it into 4 pieces, making sure we make each cut at a 45-degree angle, so that when we put it together, it'll be perfectly square. Of course, the length that you cut these pieces at are completely up to you in the kind of frame that you want to build, but for me, I'm going to cut my long sides at 7¼ inches long and my short sides at 5¼ inches. So let's get started. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Now comes the fun, slightly scary part. We're going to want to take some wood glue and our nail gun and glue and nail the frame together. Why is that scary though? Well, if we're not careful when putting it together, we could accidentally put it together at a slight angle, which would throw it off, make it unsquare, and it would all just be a mess. We don't have to worry about that though, because we are going to pay super close attention. Probably, so let's get to work. Not gonna lie, definitely could have got away with just the glue, but I built so much hype up around the air gun, I couldn't not use it. Now we're definitely going to have to do some more work on the frame, but before we do, let's go ahead and cut out the back. You can use pretty much anything you want for the back, but I'm going to use this board I have lying around that has a name which I don't remember. It is a weird material to use for this because it's not wood and it doesn't match the frame, but I guess weird is kind of what we're going for. With the backing now cut out, we're going to want to cut out the stand for the backing that will allow the picture to stay upright. To do this, we're going to want to take the same material and cut out a necktie kind of shape for the stand. You know what, let me teleport you to the future and I'll show you. Something like this. The angles and length of it don't really matter that much, however I like to have it be about 3/4 of the length of my backboard. So now I'm going to take this tiny picture frame hinge and mount it onto the back top of our stand. There we go, I hot glued it in place and I drilled the holes because this hinge sticks out a little bit and I wanted it to mount flush. Now time to mount the stand onto the back of the picture frame. We're going to want to place this stand so that it's parallel and even with the bottom of the picture frame. We'll then take a marker and mark where it's sitting at, then of course mount it. That is absolutely perfect. We can now fill in the nail holes of the picture frame, then give everything a solid sanding. However, when it comes to the backing, I'm probably only going to sand the edges. Perfect. Now this next step is going to seem a little odd, but hang with me because things are going to get real crazy real soon. What I'm going to do is drill several holes of varying size all around the frame. We don't want to drill them all the way through. In fact, we don't want them very deep at all. 1/8 inch is more than enough. The holes I'm going to drill are going to range from about 7/32, I know that's a weird size, up to about 1/2 inch 5/8. I'm going to try to drill these as sporadically as possible, so let's see what we can do. I think that's looking pretty good. That should work. Blender. With all the holes drilled, I'm now going to go ahead and give it a quick coat of stain. The actual picture frame anyways. The backing's fine as it is. Well, that's not too bad. Next, I'm going to mount these little tabs onto the picture frame that help hold the back in place. I just cut these out of plastic. I tried to buy them at Lowe's, but I guess they don't sell them anymore. There we go. And you know what? While we're at it, why don't we go ahead and cut out the glass out of plexiglass? And here we are. Now, I'm not going to put this in just yet. In fact, I'm going to take this and the back and set them aside because we have some unfinished business with the frame. So here comes the big reveal. Last night I went to Walmart and picked up some paints and paint brushes and an assortment of different sized googly eyes, ranging in size from 7/32 up to about a 1/2 inch 5/8. What a quinky dink. So the idea is to really make this picture frame weird and over the top. I'm going to take these googly eyes and hot glue them into the various holes, then take the paint and paint on goo and blood dripping from the eyes. If this comes out looking anything close to what I have envisioned in my head, it should really look wacky. I can't wait to see this, so without any further ado, let's get started. I am liking that quite a lot. Look at the eyes move. That is pretty cool. Eyeballs on every side. I like it. With the eyeballs glued in there, I went back and did a little touch-up painting to make it look like they're meant to be there, and I think it's coming together quite well. So what I'm going to do now is apply a coat of polyacrylic to help protect the paints and seal everything together. Using these little cheap brushes to apply the acrylic is a horrible idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Now while we give that some time to dry, like 2 days, we can switch our attention to drawing a picture that's equally as weird to put inside it. I have my pencils, crayons, paper, colored pencils, and everything all ready to go, so let's see what we can come up with. There we go. Hopefully that'll cause way more questions than it could ever provide answers. So I'm just going to place the picture into the picture frame and then we're ready to drop it off. Whoa, that is truly bizarre, but at least the picture and picture frame seem to go together quite nicely. In a very weird, twisted way, I'm quite proud of this. I did put my channel business card behind the picture, so if someone buys it, which I'm not quite convinced they will, but if they do, they can trace it back to this video. So if you're watching this because you bought this nightmarish frame, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. On to the thrift store. Here I am at Goodwill. Man, this guy is amazing. I have a whole bag of stuff to donate because I thought walking up with just the frame would be really weird. But now that I think about that, man, that would have been funnier. How you doing, sir? Just have a singular bag for you.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Isn't that picture frame weird? Here, look at this thing.
Yeah, kinda, sorta.
Exactly.
Good.
Awesome.
Need a receipt?
No, I'm good, but thank you.
Okay, real good.
You have a good evening.
Have a good one.
You as well. And I kind of showed my hand by asking if it was weird, but I wanted someone to see it. So there's that. Once again, be sure to check out Quite Simply Annie's video on it. I'll leave a link for it in the description down below. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe. I often do, awkwardly throwing my arms about when I slapped an old lady in the face. I found that much funnier than I should have. Came with that on the spot.